One of the most anticipated figures of the year is finally here, but is it any good? Let's find out. Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this video we're gonna take a look at Mass Toys Superior Spider-Man, or Ultimate Neighbor as the box says. First of all, a big thank you to the guys from Funly Toy Store on AliExpress for making this review possible. In case you want to get this figure, link for it and all other available CT and Mass Toys releases are down in the video description, so check them out. Okay, so far Mass Toys gave us Symbiote and Kane Spider-Man, and both were really good. But this guy here, to me, is even more appealing. Maybe it's because of his design, but also because of the fact that he comes with the most stuff out of the three. Of course, we're gonna see all of them together a little bit later in the video. But first, a quick look at the packaging, and it's a standard box that Mass Toys is using for these Revoltech style Spidey figures. I love the stylized, simple design with a spider symbol, and this red and black combination is the color of my channel logo, so you know that I like it. Down here we have that Mesco 112 font, Ultimate Neighbor, and Mass Toys logo. There's nothing on this side of the box. Back shows a simplified illustration of the back of the figure with this spider-looking backpack for his Waldos, and then down here we have some basic information and warnings about the product. Nothing on the other side, Ultimate Neighbor on top, more warnings on the bottom, but now let's open it up and let's take a look at the figure. Here is our Superior Spider-Man out of the box, and as with their previous two releases, it's that well-known 2.0 Revoltech Spider-Man body that has an amazing range of movement. But this is a beautiful looking figure, the sculpt looks really good, and in terms of paint, those parts that need to be shiny and reflective are like that, while the rest of the body is matte, and I really like that. It is also worth noting that, straight out of the box, I have no issues with joints on this guy. Everything feels nice and sturdy, as it should be. Superior Spider-Man is around 16 centimeters tall, and while there are those who, like myself, came around and started loving these Revoltech style bodies, on the other hand there are also those who don't like it because of the stylized proportions and all weird looking cuts in the sculpt. But I feel like Revoltech is getting better and better with each release, and so, at least for me, this 2.0 body is much better than what they were doing before. But this Superior Spidey is not actually Revoltech. It does use that 2.0 body, but Mass Toys added enough newly sculpted parts and pieces for this to actually be looked at as a custom figure and not a knockoff or a bootleg. Taking a closer look at the figure, here is how the default head looks. Eye lenses look nice and reflective, web pattern is sculpted, and that's something I always appreciate. Here is how the head looks from the back. Here is a closer look at the chest with the spider symbol, and everything looks nice and clean. These spider legs go across the butterfly joint, around the shoulders, and on the back, connecting behind this backpack that is shaped as a spider. It has 4 peg holes for his Waldos that we'll take a look at in a bit. And at first I was kind of worried if this will limit the butterfly joint movement because the backpack is glued to the back of the figure, but it actually doesn't. You can see that they actually left enough space for the butterfly joint to slide under this. Arms look good, and they have these gauntlets that are painted silver and have this red button. Fisted hands also look good, and you can see that the inner side, the palm, is painted red, and that's how it is on all the hands in this set. Other than the bottom of the feet, everything else is matte black on this costume, but the sculpt is what we've seen before on their previous Spidey releases. Let's now take a look at his articulation. Of course, with this being on that 2.0 Revoltech style Spidey body, you know that the articulation will be crazy on this guy. So the head and the neck give you a nice range of movement. He can look side to side. You get a nice side to side tilt. This is how far he can look down, and then up. We have these standard butterfly joints that slide forwards and back, and so with them, here is how far the arms go across the chest, and then here is how far they go across the back. Arms rotate 360. This is how far they move out. We have a bicep swivel and then a swivel in the elbow. Elbow bends all the way. We have a swivel in the wrists and a hinge in all directions. 2 cuts in the torso. So this is where you will get your side to side rotation and a great side to side tilt. Here's how far he bends forward and back. Legs move out all the way, forwards and back. Then we have a tie cut with a swivel. Knees that bend all the way. We have a calf swivel, another swivel in the ankles, ankles, feet move forward, back, we have a nice toe joint, and a generous ankle pivot. So the movement here is incredible as expected. But let's now take a look at his accessories. First, the hands. We have a pair of fisted hands that are already on the figure. Then we have a few different pairs of open hands. We have a pair of these that are like claw open hands, and then another slightly different pair of open hands, and then a pair that looks like this, a pair of relaxed hands, a pair of fully open hands. These are, for example, for his wall crawling poses, and then of course a pair of his web shooting hands. We also get his Spidey robot, and this is just a one piece without any articulation, but it's nicely sculpted and nicely painted, so there you go. Then we get two alternate heads. First, this one that is half unmasked, and this looks pretty good. Skin tone is nice, the eyes, they are reflective, still look good. And then, of course, as we saw in the promo shots, we also get a fully unmasked head. This looks great. It comes with an alternate neck piece that is half unmasked, the skin is visible, so you can use it with this head or the previous one, depending on what you want to do. But this looks beautiful. The face looks clean, sculpt is great, printed eyes and eyebrows and lips, everything is really well done here. The hair also looks good, sculpt is really nice, there is no weathering here, but I don't feel like it's needed. This looks really good. We also get some standard web shooting effects. We get a pair of these with these small pegs that go into the hands, and you know how that goes. We have a peg hole here on these hands, and these effects simply peg in like this. But then we have a second tray that gives us another pair of web shooting effects. This is the more spread out effect with webs sculpted on, and again we have a peg that goes into the hands. But then we also get four of his Spidey Waldos, and these look really good. They are nice and metallic, and they have few points of articulation with those Riveltech style joints. Each of those is nice and sturdy. You get a swivel and a hinge, so you can really play around with these Waldos and put them in all kinds of dynamic positions that will spice up your shelf. And of course, all of these peg into the back of the figure. These are all the same, so it really doesn't matter which one goes where. You can pick and choose yourself, but as you can see, the connection is pretty good, pretty strong, so it will hold. And how all of this looks, you can see at the end of the video. Switching out the hands is also no issue at all. These pop off easily. Here is how the wrist joint looks. It is kind of thin, so do be careful when switching out the hands, but again, it shouldn't be a problem. If you do have a problem with these, always heat up the figure with a hair dryer for a couple of seconds and there should be no issues. Switching out the heads is also not an issue. We pop this one off, and as you can see, here is how the neck joint looks, and it stays connected to the head. You can take it off, but by default it pops out of the neck. So we take it out because we need it for the alternate head. And here is how that looks on the figure. But if we want to use the other head fully unmasked, we need to remove the neck and pop in the alternate neck with this head. And then this is how that looks. I really love this look. And finally, we also get a nice base. And if you guys are followers of the channel, you may remember that they initially showed a different design for the base, then changed it after some fans were complaining. And it's good that they did, because this is now more in line with the previous two releases. So we get the base, and we also get the neck that is metallic and is actually wired. So this is a beautiful stand, a beautiful design. It looks great, it works great, and all you need to do to connect it is simply twist it and secure it to the base like this. And then, of course, we also get the clamp for the stand. It simply connects up here like this. And so now you have a nice display stand for your superior Spidey. But let's now compare this guy to some other figures. And we're gonna start with this comparison. First, on our far left, we have the CT Toys knockoff of 2.0 Riveltech Spidey, and this is the one that started all of this. This is that base body that inspired and made it possible for Mass Toys to give us all of these guys. So first they gave us their symbiote, then we got Kane, and now we are finally getting Superior Spider-Man. And as you can see, all of these look really good. I'm not a fan of the shininess looks of this figure. I much prefer it to be matte like these guys, but it is what it is. That's how the original is as well. But as you can see, all of these have the same height and they look really good standing next to each other. Now, you may wonder if some of these alternate heads can go on these other bodies, and unfortunately, while they do fit, they do not look good. For example, here is how the unmasked head looks on this symbiote body, and as you can see, the neck is just too long. So it does fit, but it doesn't look that good. Now, of course, with this being Revoltech body, you can kind of hide it, you know, when you pose the figure. Maybe when you put him in a kind of crouching down position or something like that. You can kind of fake it and hide the overly long neck, but by default, the neck is too long. What you can do is remove the neck from all of these figures and use the alternate neck that comes with Superior Spidey, and then this can look good, even though the reds do not match perfectly. But seeing it like this, I would say that this is passable. If I didn't know that this is the neck from another figure, I don't think that I would notice it, you know. It is also worth noting that these bodies are not completely the same. Now, other than the obvious changes like the torso, the chest pieces that are obviously different on each of these figures, there is also another difference that is worth mentioning. For example, take a look at the top of the shoulders. Look at how big this gap is here, while on this guy the gap is much smaller. The cut is not that big, so it looks like they reshaped the shoulders to make them look more flush with the body, and I appreciate that. I like that change. Here is how he scales with CT Toys Brown Suit Wolverine and the Amazing Spider-Man, AC Factory Ultron and CT Toys Agent Venom, Mayfax Classic Suit Spidey and Daredevil, SH Figuarts Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man and Sentinel Peter B. Parker, Marvel Legends Maximum Series Spider-Man and X-Men 97 Wolverine, Star Wars The Black Series Vader and Stormtrooper, Sexy Eyes 2019 Eliminator and Roman Key Big Guy Base Body, InArt Dark Knight Trilogy Batman and the SH Figuarts Revenge of the Sith Anakin, Fonjoy Superman and Flaff Toys Daredevil, LPZZ or UPF Arkham Knight Batman and Deathstroke, NECA TMNT Movie Raphael and Masters of the Universe Revelation He-Man, NECA Feral Predator and Savage Crucible Veteris Repax, and finally YOLO Park Transformers AMK Pro Series Optimus and Starscream. So there you go, that was my look at Mass Toys Superior Spider-Man or Ultimate Neighbor, the third figure that they released so far. I love all three, but I think that this one is my number one for now, just because of the number of accessories that comes with it. They all move the same because they use the same body, but more accessories make this guy more fun to pose and mess around with. That especially goes for his Waldos. Those are really nicely done, and they give this figure an overall look that will stand out on your shelf. I love what Mass Toys is doing with these releases, and I'm sure most of us will agree when I say that now we need to see that custom Venom come true. We need them to move forward with the production of that figure. Until then, this Superior Spider-Man is a big recommendation, a must-have for your collection. You need your Spidey figures to be extremely poseable, to look good in all kinds of crazy dynamic poses, and at the moment, it doesn't get better than these Revoltech bodies. So Mass Toys is killing it with these releases. Once again, a big thank you to Funly Toy Store on AliExpress for making this review possible. If you still didn't order your Superior Spider-Man, you can do so over my link in the video description. And links for all other available CT and Mass Toys releases are also down there in case you need them. Of course, for all CT, Mass Toys, AC Factory and other news and updates, stay right here on the channel because I cover a lot of it, and as far as this figure goes, you've heard my thoughts and now I would love to hear yours. So what do you guys think about this Superior Spider-Man? Do you like how it looks? Do you plan to get it? Let me know all of it down in the comments. As always, a huge thank you to my Patreon and channel members for their support. If you can also join and help, please do so. Links are in the video description. And of course, to all of you guys, thank you so much for watching, thank you for being here with me, and I'll see ya in the next video.